go double G. Y'all buy them all, yeah, I'm burning it up. DPGC, you should be turning it up.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back. It's Master Yet here. If you watched the last episode, you'll know that we're currently in Ashen Vale, just you know, penning noobs, taking names. You know how it is. No, we're just leveling up through Ashen Vale at the moment. Slowly getting there. It's just a lot of kill this, kill that kind of quest by the looks of it. I like the fact that that can become an instant cast. That's pretty cool. And just learning Mage again, really, because it's been quite a while since I've last leveled a Mage. I've never really... I've leveled maybe 2 Mages, I'd say. Ass level kind of 60. And one of them being my main, and one being one that I recruited a friend on, so I don't think that really counts. But obviously, because they've rechanged a lot when it comes to class and how a class actually plays, I thought I'd, you know, just come back and play Mage and start from the bottom and work my way back up. So in the last video I was kind of chatting about the battle for Azeroth, and how I don't think it's particularly scummy of Blizzard to put the allied races behind an achievement gate, because I know that when Battle for Azeroth does actually launch, they'll all become free to play anyway. Well, not free to play, but they'll be. I'll be very surprised if you have to get the achievement to actually play the classes. But you also had to pre-order Battle for Azeroth, so it's kind of catch-22 really. Because a lot can change in like the kind of 6 months that we've got before it's actually released, or 8 months. And you know, some people lose interest with the game. I know for Legion actually, I quit before Legion, quite a while before Legion actually, and it was literally just the kind of Legion trailer. I started kind of watching it a couple of days before launch, and just ended up buying the game. I was like, oh god, I've gotta have this game. But Legion was alright though. I wouldn't say Legion kind of held up any aspects that I particularly like. Like I'm at uni at the moment, so I kind of get, when I can get the time to play, I kind of play. When I want to play, I play. But at the same time, I don't feel like I was able to kind of put enough time into Legion to kind of reap all of its rewards. And like the rewards just weren't, after they kind of broke PvP, it kind of lost a bit of interest for me, because I've always been kind of an arena PvPer. Like, don't get me wrong, I've done my kind of mythic and heroic raids, but that was back in WoD at High Mall actually, and the same kind of thing happened. I just don't like the way Blizzard kind of make content irrelevant. So an example of this is, like, say if you've played all the way from well, I'm going to use WoD as an example. So I did like High Mall, and I was kind of like heroic and mythic geared from High Mall, and then Black Rock came out, and then me and my guild used to raid for like, I don't know, probably about 16 hours a week. And it was kind of like come on at 6 and then go off at 12, and then rinse repeat that like 3 times a week or whatever. And like I'd sunk a considerable amount of time into getting my gear, and you know, being able to do the raids and enjoy myself, and you know, like I'd sunk a lot of time into it. And then when Blackrock came out, I did like the first 6 bosses of Blackrock, I want to say, or something like that. I didn't ever finish Blackrock because I quit kind of soon after it was released. I think I only did like 3 weeks worth of raiding in Blackrock, and I was kind of like, okay, so I quit, and then I came back for Oh Christ, I can't even remember what the last. It was it wasn't Emerald Nightmare. I think that was this expansion. I can't remember what it was, but the last. Let's have a look. Bother me. Hellfire Citadel. That's the one. So with Gul'dan, I want to say. Archimond. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember this. I basically came back. I feel like I need to do something to this. I came back. Okay, okay. I'm just gonna leave this for now. Um, Came back and then. Wanna go invis? Can we go invis, please? Sorry, guys. Guys. Injure with him. Oh, what? Fuck. I fucked it. That's my first death. That's debatable as well. That shouldn't have happened if you ask me. That bullshit, fucking bullshit Warcraft. Lucky it's not Iron Man or anything. But no, I kind of came back to Hellfire towards the end because you know Legion was coming out and all that kind of stuff, and kind of came back and was a bit. I don't know. I was disappointed. I think that kind of all my gear. I know there's a curve, like a damage curve with all the gear and all that, but like my point was that you could do LFR, Hellfire, and you could like get better gear on than and like my gear I was getting from LFR was like replacing my like heroic and mythic gear from Heimdall, and I was a bit kind of like, what? Like surely like it would have made logical sense to me. And I know people have done the content, etc., etc., but when you think about like the quantities of people that end up doing the content and people that don't, a lot of people just do the LFR and are quite content with that. Whereas I was a bit, well, I was just a bit pissed, basically, in short, that if you think I'd not given up, but I'd put in a lot of time to get my gear, and I was like happy with my gear, but then my gear, it was a bit frustrating with my gear getting replaced by LFR gear, as you can imagine. So I was a bit kind of like, and I know it's kind of always been that way, but it seemed a bit silly that they'd made like this content, which was Heimdall. If you'd played from the beginning, yeah, I get that you would be bored of it, and you would also be like expecting new content. But the thing is, if you had played from the beginning of what I'm on about here, you would kind of have the gear to be able to do the raids. Whereas they shouldn't have just kind of given out the gear to enable people to do Hellfire Citadel or Blackrock. They should have said, look, you're like a fresh toon or whatever, or even not a fresh toon, you're a new player. You should have to complete all the content thus far. Well, not all the content, but like raids. When I'm on about content, I feel like you should have to complete like the bottom end raids and then make your way into the new top end raids, rather than everyone gets to do it. Because it just makes gear obsolete. So I was kind of, that kind of was, at that point I was a bit like, well, what's the point of spending X amount of time a week trying to fucking get my like best in slot boots, when after like a couple of 3 months it's just going to be all irrelevant anyway. And I know that's the way Warcraft is, don't get me wrong, but I felt within the same expansion I really felt that they should have made people have to progress more and actually like play the current content. Because Heimdall, like, you could curb stomp Heimdall pretty easily, really. Like, it was pretty much one shot every boss on normal, and like the only one that you had to really think about was what's his face at the on the last encounter really. Um, so I don't feel like it would be like a valid reason for kind of Blizzard to retaliate, saying that it would be too hard to find groups, etc., etc. And like you could probably even fucking reman it towards the end of Hellfire, or if you're a Blood DK, just fuck everything up anyway. So I felt a bit disappointed and let down by Blizzard in that way. And I kind of thought, what's the kind of best way that I can take my get a 1-0 for Blizzard, if you know what I mean. So if I can actually gain something. So I just bought, I was one of those guys, I kind of just bought myself a Grove Autumn Bron. It was like 20k, and yeah, that was kind of like, that kind of just summed it all up for me really. It was, could spend hours and hours farming this gear and getting this gear so you can do this and this and this, or you could just pay. And that's why like Blizzard's become like a kind of pay to win game in that sense, because not pay to win in the sense of actual money. Well, it is actual money, but I mean, it's not pay to win in the sense of like you're going to be really overpowered if you like chuck more money into the game, but you really are, really, because if I threw even like £100 onto this game, I could pretty much just go to the auction house and just buy not all my best in slot, and not like maybe not even any of my best in slot, but I feel comfortable enough saying that I would be able to buy myself into mythic raids quite easily, keystone dungeons easily, and like they would be boosts, and I could also just buy a fuck ton of gear off the auction house and do it myself if I really wanted to. So that's my kind of pet peeve really with Blizzard, in a sense of that it's like that their content that they do is so obsolete that it's not even worth doing it, I feel. In a way, it's kind of like, why am I gonna struggle trying to down this boss with my guild at X amount of hours, and then like 2 months down the line it doesn't matter because you can just AFK in LFR and get better gear? It doesn't really make sense to me, and that's why I don't feel like there is that drive to play Warcraft in a way. Like, I still enjoy the game, but I don't feel that competitive drive that I used to have about the game, that used to kind of push me that little bit further, because now it just seems that it doesn't matter if you're particularly good or if you suck at Warcraft, as long as you've kind of got gold, you win anyway. It's like there's nothing else to it. I could really get anything that I wanted. If I wanted to be like fully geared by the end of the week, well, for a start, I could also, I wanted to get this character fully geared from the start of the week. All I'd have to do is drop some money on a boost, a like WoW boost, up to 100. Look at this. And then at 100, I could then either like actually level my way up from 100 to 110, or I could go into trade chat and buy a twink boost from a twink for like 3k a run. So say I drop even 300k, that's like 30 plus runs. I'd drop 300k on the twink runs, so that would get me to like 110 quite easily, I'd hope. And then I could begin my journey of gearing up. So I'd probably wouldn't actually touch LFR because LFR's for scrubs. So I'd just buy myself a let's go for 10. Yeah, get myself 10 high-end keystone runs, which would kind of secure me in that sense of gear. And at that level as well, a lot of the people running for the stones are pretty much fully geared, so they don't really want the gear that they get half the time. So provided if I took like a lock and a priest, chances are I'd probably get some gear that people didn't want. And then I could be like, I could debate. I could either then just blow another like 200k, so that's like £17 to defeat the end boss of Legion one shot, like we've just on heroic. So that would be my one option. I could just drop 17 quid and complete this whole expansion, whereas people have been working for this whole expansion to get the gear to be able to one-shot this boss, or I could just come in and cheese my way into it. So I'm going to go for the cheese method, really, just because it's easier, I guess. Well, it is easier, but at the same time, I would have felt really rewarded if I had actually bothered to get all the gear, and it probably would have kept me playing and kept me raiding if it wasn't the fact that all the hours that I put into it become obsolete within like the first couple of months of it being out, because a new LFR's come out and just replaces all the shit. So I don't know, that's my kind of take on Warcraft. I'm rambling quite a lot, and I have been for quite a lot, but I am also questing, guys. Give me that. We're getting a little questing done. So join me next time, guys, and I'll continue my Warcraft rant. Take it easy.
Teach me how to pwn, teach me how to pwn. Teach me how to pwn, teach me how to pwn. Teach me how to pwn, teach me how to pwn.